information, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks! What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to content creators of all shapes and sizes that join us from many and all corners of the nerd universe. We take your questions to promote their projects. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is a first for And I Quote history. The first ever comedian / storyteller is in the building. Please welcome Tia J. Tia, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, I am excelling at life. How are you, Ryan? It's so good to see your face and blinking. That's I guess it's a new kink. I had no idea. But being on Clubhouse and being in front of you now, I'm happy. Hi.
Awesome, Tacky. Well, hi, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, if you have any questions for Tia J as we go throughout the course of the show, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live chat. Our producers are going to be keeping an eye on it as best they can during the course of this show. But in the meantime, Tia, what would you say were some of your favorite films or TV series while you were growing up?
Favorite films and TV series. I am a little bit old school. So my favorite TV series was MacGyver. I was such a fan. The fact that this guy can literally make a bomb with a window seal and a stick of gum, the metal, I was so intrigued by that. So definitely MacGyver. And then you fast forward to the Simpsons, and the sisters, the Bouviers, had a crush on him. So they were always talking about him. So it would take me back to my youth going, I love MacGyver. So Richard Dean Anderson, I'm right here.
Not bad. Good pick. I remember growing up on reruns of that show. Just out of curiosity, though, what do you think of the rebooted MacGyver with Lucas Till in the title role?
You know what? I can tell you, as with many reboots, some things should be left alone. To me, that is one. When they did Miami Vice, when they there's some things just like Beverly Hills 90210. There's so many things that I just wish they would leave well enough alone. And I get it. They want to capitalize on what was happening then, but you fast forward 30 years, we're all in completely different places, and they're trying to get the attention of these kids. And it just, especially in the instance of Beverly Hills 90210, it just didn't work. I don't think so. To each their own, but no, it's a no for me. Thank you.
There you go. Straight up to the point. I mean, they've rebooted 90210 not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, they tried, and it's just, no, and then they do the same thing with films, and they just keep rehashing the same thing over and over again. And I get the theory. It's if something works, don't try to change it. But you've got the new characters, you've got actors playing these lead roles, and it gets a little weird out there. So again, it's a no for me. I'm a classic at heart. So yeah,
I can totally respect that. I understand it as well. What would you say are some of your favorite stand-up comedians, past or present?
I, as a born again comedian, love this question. I am and forever will be a fan of George Carlin. I don't fashion myself to be a political commentary when it comes to comedy, but he really, especially when the pandemic happened, and it lends to the whole born again comedian thing. I was in it for a good 10 years, slid out of it, and then came back. And when the pandemic hit, I was like, I have a particular voice. I want to use it, and I want to drive forward this narrative that as a woman, we could do all things, again, an occasional acquiesce to your man, but and that's what I think is important. So we got George Carlin, Elaine Boozler, really a fan, Lily Tomlin, and then of course as we come forward, Eddie Murphy. In the very beginnings of my comedy, that's what people, you're like, oh my God, she's like a female Eddie Murphy. And then you keep coming more forward. Of course, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams. That's actually where I got my start. He had a room at Inglewood Hollywood Park Casino. And that's, I would go up every week, and every week they wouldn't boo. But you could definitely hear fleas making love. It was so silent. And then I worked on my craft, and I finally got it. And again, went back to that same room that I got my humble beginnings, and ended up getting a standing ovation. So talk about coming full circle. but yeah, comedy is a fickle game. It's a fickle game, and trying to stay on top of it, I think, is as long as you're staying as true to yourself as humanly possible, people will connect with you. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. When did you decide to become a stand-up comedian yourself?
Was 1999 was the year, and I intentionally dated this guy because I knew I'd been wanting to get into it ever since I moved to Los Angeles, which we all know was September 5th, 1995. And I remember being with my best friend at the time who wanted to get a car. So we go to this place called Ugly Duckling, which is where you can get like cars on the low. And I remember people coming out of their cubicles because I was a loud talker. I still am, and I still like attention. And I remember literally regaling the people of Ugly Duckling. And so they were like, "You are so funny. Where's your next show? When's your show?" And I was like, "I'm at the Comedy Store." And I lied. But boy, I tell you, that lie was the one that was the catalyst. So I started dating a gentleman that I knew did stand-up comedy. And all of a sudden now I'm doing stand-up comedy and I'm taking his gigs, and I was funnier and it was great. He didn't like it, but that's how I started. I dated a person to get into comedy. Some people date for money. Some people date for luxury. I date for fucking comedy. Boop. There we go. Darn it. And right in the beginning, just so everybody knows, if you guys are watching, which I can only hope, if not now in the repeats, but boy, golly gee, 2 seconds before he goes on, he's like, "Don't curse."
No, it's
My Insta
little
bio.
behind. I was going to say a little behind the scenes there, but no problem. Once again, we're talking with comedian Tia J here on this episode of And I Quote. Make sure you like and share this video with all 200 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this episode. We guarantee it. Also, if you have any questions for Tia as we go throughout the course of the show, whether it's in the live version or the replay, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you. Charm Celebrations chimes in a moment ago. She says, "Hello, everyone. Good to see you too, Gata. Good to see you too."
Gata.
Tagging us on Instagram this morning, you busy bee. She also says nothing is better than the original in regards to series and remakes and reboots. The originals always rule. And let's see here. Roberta chimes in. They say that they love Lily as well as Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
And yep. Also, they say love Dave Chappelle as well. And Gata can't help herself but laugh. So there you go. She's laughing. She's laughing. So thanks for that. Appreciate you all chiming in here. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it wholeheartedly. What would you say are some of the rewards about being a stand-up comedian, Tia?
For me, a true reward is it's very cathartic. When I was being funny, I was very mean-spirited. Just, from my upbringing and just kind of not understanding how to deal with emotional trauma, as it were. So I would lash out a lot. And so then I decided, like, why can't I take these same traumas, right, and then work them out on stage? So for me, the reward is just the catharsis, the finally being able to just like woosah and breathe and know that I am not alone in any of the stuff that I've been through, whether I put myself in it or not. And that, again, that's the great unifier. That's one of the things I love the most about comedy, is because at the end of the day, I want to be able to take you away from whatever your ills are by talking about mine. And that's what unifies us. It's that community. It's the sense of that I am not alone. And so that is it for me. It's just, it feels good. And after I'm done with the show, I feel great. And that's what I want to do. I wake up breathing every morning, as some of us do. And it's really cool to just keep right on going. And then, like, you'll think of something and you're like, "Oh, I got to say that tonight." And a lot of the shows that I get ready for, 90% of the shows I've done since the beginning of the pandemic have just been off the top. And I think those are some of the funniest shows. Of course, I have written material, but just being able to identify and just talk about where I'm at in my moment, in my day, in my life, in my relationship, in my motherhood, that's my jam. So, and that's what you get with me.
There you go. Get doing stuff off the cuff, as it were.
Indeed.
Very impressive. Very impressive stuff. On the flip side of the fence, though, what do you say are some of the biggest challenges about being a comedian?
Some of the biggest challenges for me, because I cannot speak for the whole community, are getting out of your own way and really believing and being true to the craft. There's times where, I feel like writing and I'm completely inspired. There's times where I don't feel like writing, and so I'm uninspired. And so I find that is the challenge, is to just through my day to day find the funny in every single thing. I purposely walk behind our elders at the supermarket to slow myself down, to be able to like really ingest everything that I'm seeing and feeling and hearing and touching and tasting, if that is the instance, like at Costco. So that's where I'm at. It's just being in the moment and being present and reminding myself constantly to be in the moment and be present, because your mind is a terrible thing to waste, they say, but it will allow you to go so many different places. And if a thought doesn't benefit me in the moment, I stop thinking about it, because we're so good at, again, thinking like stupid, dumb thoughts that don't benefit ourselves. And I don't want to do that. So that really has impacted my comedy, is just keeping like an open mind and an open heart and just speaking from that space. And it's great, man. Yeah.
Giddy up. Thank you for sharing that with us. Gata chimes in. She says, what continues to inspire you when you feel stuck?
That's a great question, Gata, and I appreciate you asking. I take inspiration from the most minute things, and I can be on set and I'll look up and I'll see a sign, and that sign is just like, it's like one of those cross-gender, bathrooms, for instance. And I want them to recreate it and have like half man, half woman in a dress. Like, so it's little things. It's just kind of like, it lets everybody know, hey, you can be in this bathroom, So it's just little things, watching birds dive after each other and fight it out, and just like, giving them a narrative. So it's like inspiration comes from everything. And so if I do find myself stuck, I'll stop again, be in the moment, and just look around and see, like, oh, see, if that song was playing, I don't know, there's a new TikTok trend where if you could see green and pink, I just saw it. So again, I'm inspired by that, because that's a true thing. I can't think of the song. But anyway, maybe you guys can tell us, because I cannot recall, but thank you for the question.
Yeah, awesome. Creativity comes in all shapes and sizes, for sure. And Roberta chimes in. She says, I always thought I would see you on a stage. I remember the talent show back in middle school. Your rendition of Whitney Houston was just spot on. You have always been talented, says Roberta.
Roberta, I love that you mentioned that. I was at the nail salon getting my Ferrari red nails. And in doing that, I literally told the ladies at the nail salon, like, the song came on because they were playing it in the background. And I thought, oh my God, this is like the slowest song in the world. Here's a whole auditorium of 7th and 8th graders, and I'm up here lip syncing my butt off to I Believe That Children Are Our Future. And it is such a slow song. So I ended up telling them that literally yesterday, about how funny that was to me, that, I thought that would be the jam. But as we all know, 8th grade solo performance, Janet Jackson, and I had my house key as the earring. So redemption at its finest, redemption at its finest.
I'm totally digging it. Once again, we're talking with comedian Tia J here in this episode of And I Quote. Make sure you're sharing this video and liking it. Share it with all 300 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this episode of And I Quote. Nice. I guarantee it. Another question that chimes in from Roberta. She says, do you only do comedy in the state of California, USA?
Currently, yes. And the only reason for that is I've no desire. And I know. Comedy, as I said, for me is cathartic. If something happens as a result of me doing what I do here in LA, sure, I'll go elsewhere. Anytime I travel, like Arizona, I'll be like, hey, I'm from LA. Usually they'll let you step up, but I have no intention, at least at this point, leaving the Mecca. Like, you've got Los Angeles, you've got New York, you've got Philly, you've got Chicago. So like, there's all these different places that you can do it. Again, if the opportunity presents itself, hell yeah, I'll go, but I'm not seeking that. Like, I love where I live. I've been in California forever and a day, and it just resonates. I mean, I was born here. So for me to come back to the place that I love and just, it just breathes life into me. So sure, again, if somebody says, hey, I'll fly you out and put you up in a hotel, but I'm an old bitch and I can say that. I don't want to be in a car and Aunt Flo hit, and now I'm stuck and I have to go to like a hotel, like literally like some kind of a gas station. Like, I don't want to do any of that. So yeah, I'm a little prima donna when it comes to that. You're not getting me out there on a road with a bunch of dudes. Why?
I see what you mean. Just used to the California love. Anyway, it's one of the few songs that speaks of California that I can remember, because I heard in a promo for when Law and Order Los Angeles was airing back in 2010. So
that's funny.
No. I'm a big Law and Order fan. So when I heard that they were putting on a show in a completely different place on the opposite coast of the USA, I'm like, oh, this should be good. And unfortunately, it only lasted one season, which bums me out because I really liked that show.
It's interesting because Law and Order SVU is one of my favorites. And when I was giving birth to my son, I was at the Santa Monica Birthing Center. That show was on. Like when I tell you that show, Olivia Benson, like it resonates with my spirit. So literally they would be like, push. And then you would hear, go, go. And I'm like, wait. Okay, go. And so that's like literally that show was on when I was giving birth to my boy 8 years ago. So
Wow.
I'm a huge fan. And I know somewhere like it's like the Manchurian Candidate, he hears gunk gunk and he's like wants to act right. I don't know. I gotta try that though. That's something I haven't tried yet, but that's freaking hilarious to me.
Oh my gosh. I thought just when you thought you've heard everything on this show, notice, and I quote, nah, we haven't heard everything yet, but we're getting there. No, we're not.
Yeah.
I take it. Do you still watch the reruns on TV because they're on all the time?
USA. Interestingly enough, I finally bit the bullet, y'all, and got rid of cable. And it took forever because I'm paying this money. I got a kid who his whole life is YouTube. So I was paying for this service that, literally if I want actual TV, now they have TVs that are built with their own networks in it. So I got the Samsung TV. I got the Samsung network. If I want news, you can go anywhere with an app. And I love that. So I haven't watched network television in forever, but yeah, you can catch reruns on Tubi. You can catch reruns just everywhere. There's everywhere. So yeah, but back in the day though, when I had cable, I would turn it on USA and I would just for hours, because that's their channel. For hours, I would watch reruns for sure.
Mm-hmm. None of there's anything wrong with that. I've watched my fair share of reruns on different networks. Just one of them happens to include USA. There's no problem with that. But even, gee willikers, even so, Gata chimes in. She says, I am so grateful for our connection on Clubhouse, and same here. Woo!
Yeah, Clubhouse
is an
animal, man. I'm glad that I did make the connections. Again, as the world opened back up, I'm on there less and less. It became... I'm not going to say a distraction because it was a much needed distraction at the height of the pandemic. being able to wake up in the morning and start with my friends in Japan, and then end my day with my friends in Russia. It was such an amazing space. And I am so blessed by, again, Sir Ryan, I met you on the old Clubhouse. So that is the gift that keeps on giving for sure. Cause that really, just spurred me to get back into comedy and take myself seriously for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Even
so, any special memories for you from being on stand-up comedy shows, whether you're there as the comedian, talent of the night, or you're at a comedy show as an attendee? Anything stand out to you?
Yes. Many moons ago, I used to sit in audiences because they would pay you whatever, like $60, $70. And I went to a taping of BET. And when I was a little hot young thing, the cameraman could not stop recording me. So fast forward, I see my friends are calling me. They're like, girl, it's like you were on the show. Now, I wasn't even doing comedy. This had to be 97. Not even close to doing comedy. But I was in the audience for this comedy show. And literally every time they cut to a commercial break, it was me or, or, so yes, that right there makes me chuckle. Because I was so, literally when I saw it back many, months later, you would have thought that I was like a guest star or something because they flashed me so much. So yeah, that was a little narcissistic, but yet and still here we are. I just like my face.
No problem with that. What are your plans for your comedy show moving forward? Are you going to continue to go to clubs in Cali and just keep on rolling with the California dream, or anything else going on?
As I've gotten older, I've appreciated having a voice and being able to speak specifically for women about how important it is for us to have our own agency. So I've been crafting my show, and it's going to be a 45-minute show called Agency, and it really lends itself to women being very empowered and being okay with things that have happened to you in the past. And in no way am I ever meant to minimize. I mean, again, we've all gone through so many things. Just breathing as a woman can be difficult. Me being a Black woman, I'm already getting like 30 cents less on the dollar simply because I'm a woman and I'm Black. So there's so many things, and it's just trying to like literally, close the gap on that and talk about ways that we can, as women, not just empower ourselves, but each other and keep ourselves going. I mean, many of you guys who know me, I'm all about that. I will be your biggest effing cheerleader because I believe in your ability to be great. And I really think that once you believe it, right? Because I can't want anything more than you. And that's what it's like. I want you to want to be this person that you've envisioned. I want you to be free. I want you to be sexually fluid. I want you to be all of these things that you might have thought you couldn't do because society deemed you not able to do it and don't care. And I think at the end of the day, I don't care. And that's a very powerful position to come from. So I get $30 or 30 cents less on the dollar. I don't care. I'm still going to be me. There's nothing you can do to prevent me from being who I am. And I love who I am. And I just want to inspire others to love who they are in this time and space. So that's where I'm at with that. Nice question.
A lot of mic drop moments here on And I Quote. Once again, we're talking with comedian. I'm telling you, once again, we're talking with Tia J, a comedian here on And I Quote. Make sure you share this video and like it and share it with all 400 of your closest friends because they're going to like the way they look after watching and listening to this episode. We guarantee it. With that being said, I have a way with words, don't I? No, I don't. But with that being said, outside of stand-up comedy, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
I deeply appreciate photography. I am a woman of many talents. I had started my own production company back in 2017, but I've been a graphic designer and image retoucher since 2009. So that I've always had what I call side hustles. I believe in multiple streams of income and utilizing my abilities to just do everything that I want to do. That got me into videography. I had a good friend of mine who has since passed away, Thahum, and he was like, yo, I've got this footage, but can you edit? And I was like, I have never edited, but you can pay me to learn. So I got it. I understood nuance. I understood like the rhythm. I can get it. And I understood that editing to the beat was like what it was. And so that's what literally, because this guy needed something and I figured it out. And I mean, I edited like, this was when Luke Cage was on. He shot this like fan appreciation video and that went viral on comicbook.com. So yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy how, again, that's going back to being open to just whatever comes your way and, literally inhale the good stuff and exhale and that's what's been happening. So that's how I started. So I was like, well, I have all the gear. I got this, I got that. And then, She Touched was born and I've been doing it for, pretty steadily. Since again, 2009 was the graphic design and retouching, but then when I flipped the video component, it's been great. I've had contracts with some colleges here in LA and I just like money. And I like earning it though, right? Which I would not be. I'm a gold digger, definitely not a gold digger. I love just creating space for myself wherever that space may be and utilizing all of the talents that I was given to the best of my ability. And it's been I had a photo shoot literally 2 days ago, sent her the photos yesterday. She's already posted them online and was just like, you need a photographer, shoot with this girl. Because I really do play well with others. And I think that has a lot to do with it, as far as shooting music videos or shooting whatever film short that you have that want to come to life. If I believe in it, we're going to shoot it. And that's just it. End of story.
My goodness. Well, congratulations on all that. And I wish you the best of luck with it, continuing and moving forward. Show me the money, Jerry. There's nothing wrong with money.
Show me the money. Well, there's nothing wrong with money, but it feels so much better when you're earning it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been really good at dating for money. It's just futile because I've never wanted to give anybody that much control over me. I tried it and it just sucked. Can I have money to get my nails done? Hey, I want to go get I'm calling shenanigans on that whole thing. I would rather just make my own and you can share my world with me, but you will not be my world. And it takes a really strong person to understand that. And, it's a beautiful space, but all of everything that I have in my life, I've created out of thin air because it's what I've wanted. It's what I've called to it. And yeah, so be intentional. That is a real thing, with your thoughts, with your motives, with your actions. And as long as it's coming from a good place, you're going to win. And that's all I want to do. Drop DJ Khaled. All I do is win.
Exactly. All we do is win. At least, here as friends and on this show, we always win because everyone here is a winner and a rising tide lifts all ships. So isn't that the truth? I believe it is.
A rising tide. There's a joke that I used to say, and it made me chuckle because it has something to do. And I say that women, you do understand. And I don't think a lot of men understand that with women, we do realize it is not the size of the ship. It is the motion of the ocean. But I just ask for fair warning if all you have is a dinghy. A little nautical humor.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I know where that was. I'm sorry. I think I knew where that was going. But either way, that's one thing or the other. I believe is it Kaya or Kia? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but she says, love seeing your smile, lady.
Hi. Well, thank you for time. See, now it got even bigger. Look at that. I love my women. And if you can tell, my women love me right back. Yeah, girl, I got to see you at a show, Kaya. It'll be really great. Even whether it's my show or Candace's show, we'll make it happen. And that's soon. So let's do it.
Anything is possible. Gata chimes in. She says it's about really supporting one another, especially on what is known as the creative side. Coming together makes us grow, she says.
All facts, no cap. Kumbaya. I want to get a Coke and share it with the world now.
And by the way, Kaya says, yes, we will.
Hell yeah. Yes, Kaya. Cece's got a few shows coming up, so stay tuned because these are big. Like Dita Von Teese came to see her last show. So just for those of you guys not in the know, my daughter Candace Kane is an amazing performer. In addition to doing pole work, she also does burlesque. She was just featured on Refinery 29. She was just featured on Fuse TV. So when I tell you I know how to make them, it's because I do. Children, that is.
Congratulations to your family members on the success. That's good stuff.
You.
We're digging
very
it.
Happy. When Dita showed up at her show, like Dita Von Teese is the queen. She is the mecca. She is all things burlesque. And so, she was kind of like looking into my kid, and just for her to physically be in the building to see my child was like mind blown. Like my mind was completely blown, and I love it. And so, yeah, my kid's future is almost as bright as her mother's. Okay, if not brighter.
It's one or the other. We want to take this opportunity to say that this episode of And I Quote, and every episode of And I Quote, I should say, is indeed powered by Poddex. Now, Poddex are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to have more meaningful conversations or simply gamify their podcast. Simply shuffle up the cards. You ask a question, you let the content roll. Get yours today at Whoa, that was weird. Get yours today at poddex.com. Make sure you use the promo code Ryan10. That's RYAN10. Ryan10 to get 10% off your order. You're not going to miss out on that opportunity. Once again, it's poddex.com, 10% off. Use promo code Ryan10, and you're going to dig it. We absolutely believe in it. So with that being said, Tia, were you ever really passionate about something and then you just suddenly lost interest? And if so, what exactly was it?
I used to, as a young girl, subscribe to Fangoria, whichever magazine. I was really into Rick Baker. I was really into special effects, makeup. It just seemed like that would just totally gel with me. I understood horror. I understood, if you slice someone in the jugular, it's supposed to spurt out. And all of those kind of things it really appealed to me. And then as I got a little bit older, I realized that the solvents that they used to use, of course, today it's a little bit better, were really debilitating, whether it was just to the touch, but inhaling these fumes, and people that were in that industry were getting really, really sick. So I went away from it. I just aborted mission right in the middle. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think sometimes people have a misconception that you're supposed to, see it through. But if it doesn't benefit you anymore, stop it. Change direction, switch horses midstream. I dare you, because you're going to be a lot happier. And that's what it is. And now look at me, hands softer than a baby's booty. Yeah, it is. But although I'm mechanical, I just use really great lotion. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
What Great answer.
No more. But it's interesting because I'm currently in love with a person who does special effects, so it's still in my life. You see what I'm saying? It's like what I wanted as a kid, and I got it as a full blown adult, but I don't have to touch any of this shit. I just get to see the final outcome and photograph it. So, wow! I just put that connection together right now. That's freaking hilarious.
There you go. That's a fair deal if we ever heard one. There's,
right.
Never hurts to learn something or understand how certain things work, in the creative process anyway, because,
For sure.
Movies, TV series, hair, makeup, and especially prosthetics, if you're doing some creature features, that's a lot of work.
It really is. And I mean, the work that he does it's so stellar. He's like done some stuff with my kid, and every 4 months she's in the chair doing something. Like he had done like a Halloween clown like freaky thing, and she went out that night and ended up winning a free night at the Sofitel Hotel. So it's crazy, like that's how good his work is. That she walks into a place and people are like, oh my God, she gets best costume. And it was crazy. Y'all can creep my Instagram at Tia J to see those pics, because that's really good.
There you go. I believe, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Is it Meadowlark says she and Sharkhead are couple goals? I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
You don't know. Are you really couple goals?
I know what couple goals are, but like
Sharkhead, that's who does the makeup. That's who I was talking about. That's his Instagram.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, what do you mean you don't know what couple goals?
No, I know what couple goals are. I just wasn't sure what it was pointing to. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just out of my mind. Kaya says, when you're having a rough time getting started on a project, what things do you do in order to get past that block?
There's a game on my phone that I play with a degree of religiosity, and it affords me the opportunity to just empty all of my thoughts and just focus on, interestingly enough, balls. But it's like, little, like it's a maze. It's and you have to figure out how to break these bricks, and with the trajectory and so on and so forth. So that affords me the opportunity to just like literally hit the reset on myself and go in here and play this, and then I'll just come back, and then I'm able to redirect wherever I was at. So that for me, and I utilize it as that. I really say with intention, because again, being intentional for me is imperative. I'm stuck right here, but I only give myself literally 5 to 10 minutes in that space to get recharged and then redirect. And usually that gets me out of it. So it's that particular game on my phone. Yep.
Awesome sauce. And Meadowlark says, creative couples rule the world.
This is true. It is fun to have somebody to create your life with. I mean, I think that, if they say it was written, if all things are supposed to have already been written, I like to kind of, fake and move and see if I can catch anybody off guard. But so far, life's so good.
There you go. So far, so good. Let's just keep on rolling. But even so, next question, which is powered by Poddex. Do you like to plan things out in detail or just be spontaneous?
Oh, total spontaneity is everything. Very like I'm going on a vacation most like in October, and short of the kayak trip, short of hiking through the Sierra Madre, it's just go with the flow. Like I am so, and now again, as I've had, a younger child, so last minute like get-togethers really don't work. A lot of my friends, nobody has kids. I'm the only 40-year-old, 48-year-old bitch who's got a kid that's young. Everybody else is growing it out of the house. So last minute invites are a little tough for me, but if it's a weekend at his Nana's, I'm out. I'm there. So don't forget to invite your girl. I might just show up on you. Spontaneity.
Wise words and good answer too. What do you think one of the biggest cons of being famous would be?
One of the biggest cons to being famous is being ill prepared. That because I don't think anybody can really prepare themselves for the barrage of positivity for being who you are, the barrage of negativity for being who you are. So I wish there was like a course on the do's and don'ts of being famous, and people followed that guideline, but not the people who are actually famous, but the people who made them that way. I wish so I don't know that that's a con per se, but it's just like, to try to be as prepared as humanly possible for everything that fame throws at you, and being able to adapt and just realize that what I eat doesn't make you shit. So I don't care about you in that regard. And SHIT is on TV network now. I got away with that one.
Boy, we learn something new every day in this world. Let me tell you. What specific work of art do you admire the most?
Well, specifically, I believe we talked about this in the green room. Gustav Klimt has a photo called The Kiss. And in this image, it's a man in this gold drip laden robe. And they're in a field of flowers, and he's holding her face in such a way, and her head is back, and she's just completely open to what's happening. And this is called The Kiss. So it's Gustav Klimt's The Kiss. And any of you guys know, seen it, I've got one in my room. And I thought really hard because I always wanted to feel what this woman must have felt in that photo, to just still be in your own power, because she is equally as robed. And I think as a fighter, as a woman who understands and owns her own agency, to find a man that complements that and doesn't want to take away from that. And that's what it is in that picture. When I saw it when I was 19 years old, and I looked at it and I meditated on it, and it's exactly what I have today. And so yeah, go out there and get your dream, fella, guys. It's possible. And girls.
There you go. And Meadowlark chimes in. She says, "Deep thoughts, Tia J. Deep thoughts."
By Jack Handy. Do you remember that? Deep thoughts. Yeah. Oh, SNL. Oh, I would do SNL, by the way, but you do have to submit and go to New York. So there's that.
I mean, they did a spinoff of Law and Order in LA. Maybe they'll do a spinoff of SNL in LA. Who knows?
Hey, if that's the case, I'll go. But I think being a mommy first, like, I'm so great. I excel at being my boy's mom. He chose well, if you believe in that you pick your parents, which is so funny because I wouldn't have picked my mom specifically, but I learned so much on how not to be as a grown woman, that I think it actually, I did what I was supposed to. But I just look at my son, I'm like, you are so lucky you got me as a mom, bro. You could have been like what, 7 billion people on the planet, 3.5 of them can give birth, and you chose me. Bro, we're living it. Ask him what he wants to be when he gets older. He'll tell you a cardiothoracic surgeon. So I'm doing good. Oh, and a stunt person.
Oh, right. That too. Kaya chimes in. She asks, what was your largest struggle when starting your company?
My largest struggle in starting my company was to just start my company. And I know that seems like what, but it was making the decision that I had the wares, that I had the wherewithal, that I was enough for people to want to come to me and trust me with their project. So in the beginning, it was a lot of, I'll shoot you for this. And it was a lot of trade and barter. But yeah, it was literally just making the decision. It's similar with comedy, like a lot of people are like, well, who do you think you are being on stage trying to be funny? That's exactly who I think I am, being on stage, and I am being funny. So the same thing with my business. I just had to believe in myself that I know once I let people know, and that's where the universe comes in. As soon as you know inherently exactly, for the most part, and that's what when you deal with the universe, you got to dot your I's and cross your T's. You have to be so succinct and firm in your conviction of what it is that you want, so that way it can provide. But if you don't know, if you're still non-committal, then the universe is non-committal. And for those of you that are religious, God is the same way. If you believe in that person, entity, if I'm not doing what I should be doing, he gonna be on the couch with me. And I only say he just because that's what it's set up to be. It's sitting on the couch not doing anything. When I'm out there grinding and hustling, out there grinding and hustling with me. So it's literally that. It's just like, not everybody is going to be here to cheerlead. And I know that you have to find the gumption within yourself to say, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to kick some ass today. Let's do it. And conversely, there's days where I don't want to get up and I don't want to kick ass. And guess what? I don't. And I listen to my body and I just do, but that goes with the flow. There's only so much. I need me. And so if I'm always pouring into other people's cups, I have nothing left. There's nothing in the reserves, and I'm running on fumes. So I'm very big on taking time for yourself and getting away from everyone and everything and getting into nature and digging your toes in the sand and, just hugging a tree. Like I'm a tree hugger. Happy trees, Bob Ross.
I never thought I'd hear someone say that to me out loud. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Hey, we're all friends here. There's no shame in that. And even but thank you for answering the question. Thank you for posing it, Kaya. Thank you for chiming in with that. Gaeta chimes in. She says, "How can you weed out those who don't align with you?"
I vibrate at such a high level, and when I say these things, just note that it's true. People can't even come into my circle. It's what I emanate. People that don't have the best intentions in mind for me, they can't even enter in the conversation. In my day-to-day, I work as a teleprompter operator because I like money, right? So I have multiple sources of income, as I've shared. I'll be on set with sometimes 12 to 100 people. If I don't feel good, if I don't feel like talking, or your energy is like, I just don't. So again, vibrating at a high level, those kind of people can't even enter my circle. And even if for some strange reason it happens as a happenstance, like, oh, you're icky. But I've been like this since 2009 and understanding how I operate and how I work. So again, for me, I just vibrate. They don't come near me. If you don't understand how someone's intentions or what they are, I'm also a huge fan of communication. Ask them what their intentions are. Why do you want to be my friend? When you go to a job interview, they're asking you these questions because they want to know how you're going to benefit their company. I'm the same way with my friends. I'm the same way with I would do it to my kids, but they chose me already. I was already winning there. But any other relationship, interpersonal, I need to know, because again, everybody on this planet is here for you to use. I think it's when you misuse them that it gets a little yucky. So you got to vibrate on my level or higher for me to interact with you on the daily. And Gaeta, Kaya, Roberta, like I've known Roberta since, and her man, they've been together since high school. Talk about relationship goals.
Whoa.
So whatever. Right. So it's just, again, vibrating on such a level that those people can't get in. It's like you're an impenetrable force. And go from there.
Boy, the force is strong with this one. Metalark says, rather than believing in your talents, I just accept and embrace them as part of you.
Thank you.
Boy, you're just getting all kinds of praise in the chat, but we don't mind it because, Tia J is our guest this week on And I Quote. And don't forget to share with all 700 of your closest friends because they're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this episode. We guarantee it. With that being said, next question is indeed powered by Poddex here for you, Tia. If you were a bartender, which famous person would you like to serve?
If I was a bartender, which famous person would I like to serve? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Could be anybody.
I don't know why Winston Churchill popped into my brain. Why did Winston Churchill pop into my brain? I would want to ask him questions. I would, because like usually as a bartender, you're kind of like a psychologist. So I would want to know why he made some of the moves that he did. And I don't want to go into detail, but I think that it would be Winston Churchill because I find him to be very, very interesting, and a good comic friend of mine had talked about that and how he literally was able to get in there and occupy all of India and then get mad when India did the same thing to everyone else. It's just crazy. So I would just be like, what made you decide that? And I know it wasn't one secular, it wasn't one person. There's a bunch of people that came together and said, we're going to do this. But I just want to know why. So I would just serve him up a nice, just a dirty martini with 3 olives, extra dirty, just like I like it. Cause he seems like he'd like it extra dirty. And then ask him why. Do you do what you do, Winston Churchill?
Interesting choice. When you bring up the word martini, the first thing that comes to mind is the films that I grew up on when I was younger. Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Vodka martini. That's how I like it too. Gin. I tell secrets on gin. When you've been in the game as long as I have, you know what not to drink. And boy, I tell you, loose lips, getting back to that will sink a ship. So me and gin do not get along. And that's okay, but definitely a nice top shelf martini with vodka is my jam for sure.
It's a good choice, but let us know what you think in the chat. To each their own, right? Choose whichever fits your fancy. So what?
Wow. Okay, go across the pond, Ollie.
I know. I tend to drop in and out of certain impressions or accents sometimes on this show, but who knows? You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates here on And I Quote. But we do want to say that it has been awesome-tacular. Having Tia J as our guest this week on And I Quote. Tia, thank you so much for being here. Where can the person watching or listening to this find you on social media and everything you have coming up?
You know what? The best place is the old name right there, at TIAJAI. That's Tia J. If you want to see some of my company's work, I also go under She Touched, which is more of my business comedy page, because I'm a woman of all trades, master of a few, at She Touched, capital SHETOUCHED, because everything she touched turned to gold. Check me out. And if you guys want me to come by and shoot you in your natural habitat being awesome, let me know. I edit together a 1-minute video of us being awesome together. And then next thing you know, we're all famous, because that's what this is really about. Fame.
Giddy the heck up. I love it. I absolutely love it. And we hope you have enjoyed this episode as well. Once again, my name is Ryan of Neuroculture. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. All kinds of projects are coming up, so make sure you follow me there. Once again, thank you so much to Tia J for being with us. Just to let you know, our next guest coming up next week is going to be Brian D. Anderson. He is a fantasy writer, so we're looking forward to having him on the show on And I Quote, Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also our next watch-along is coming up. We're going to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of the remake of 3:10 to Yuma.
Yes.
Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, a.k.a. Jor-El and I'm Batman, on Wednesday night, September the 7th, 2022 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be on Facebook and YouTube at It's Neuroculture. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, smash that notification bell so you get notified when our new videos go up, because you're going to like the way you look after looking at our content. I guarantee it. Also, a very special event is coming up. It is called the Multiverse Fundraiser, and it's going to be going down on January the 20th through the 22nd of 2023. We're calling it the Ritter Rally, and everything that we raise, all the donations that come in, and special things that we do are going to be donated to the John Ritter Foundation to celebrate his memory and celebrate his greatness. That is John Ritter. Hence the reason we're calling it the Ritter Rally. For more information on that, go to www.themultiversefundraiser.com. It's a virtual convention. It's free. You can attend it from the comfort of your own home. We're going to have panels. We're going to have workshops. We're going to have very special guests. We can't announce them just yet, but stay tuned, because it's going to be excellent. So the Ritter Rally, the Multiverse Fundraiser, great cause, great times, great people are going to be putting this thing together. January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Make sure you check it out. And it's for a great cause, so why the heck not? With that being said, once again, my name is Ryan of Neuroculture. Thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe. And remember, life is better when you're laughing, enjoying yourself, or in some cases, life is better when reading. Take a look.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Sweet dreams they placed on me inside my mind. Chance my truth, twist the past, my memories are fading fast. Am I still missed? You understand? Who do you want me to be? Am I still missed?
Join author Gary Zeiger for an animatic short film based on his breakaway Stingray novel series. Watch this animatic short based on the novel Stingray, You Can't Hide Forever at stingrayseries.com. In Stingray, You Can't Hide Forever, Captain Epsilon is putting the band back together to rescue his protege's little sister from the evil conglomerate, while keeping his state-of-the-art warship, Stingray, out of their hands. Watch as the adventure unfolds in the groundbreaking animatic short at stingrayseries.com. Then, join the crew of Stingray with the next novel in the series, Stingray Prophecy, where Captain Epsilon and Dr. Zubre are pivotal players in an ancient prophecy. Can they reunite the people of two worlds before they destroy each other? To learn more, visit stingrayseries.com.
What was it you promised your old man?
Never give up. Do something they'll never forget. I'm afraid I am a coward. I'm sorry for everything.
Meg,
This is my moment.
you'll be missed.
If I had done this a long time ago,
A true movie-land tragedy.
it would have saved a lot of pain.
Peg Entwistle, known for her spectacular Broadway performances and a promising movie career, is gone.
They'll never forget this.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.